at the time. I'm like, pull up. I don't want to pull up alone. I've never even linked these dudes before, but you know, this is somebody that I really should do music with, so like just come through. She had been drinking. She pulls up. Long story short, the artist that I was, you know, trying to work with, he's like, hey, I got these new songs out. I got a new song out with Russ. And I'm like, cool, play that shit. I love Russ. Keep in mind, Danny knows Russ because her sister Gabby, her twin sister Gabby, is literally obsessed and crazy over Russ. People in LA know that Gabby is crazy over Russ. People talk about Gabby being crazy over Russ, blowing his phone up, sending him text messages. Russ has literally called this girl out for harassment. I have gotten DMs, hey, what is that girl's address? What is that girl's address? Because we're trying to get a restraining order on her. Put this code in. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever. That's how Danny knows Russ. This is the time when the song Best, whatever, that new song that Russ just came out that was like a single, it's like the way she works, whatever the case. Danny has listened to that song with me in the car when it was all over the radio with no problem. It was never cut that shit off, nothing. The artist that I'm there with in the studio plays the song. Danny goes on her Snapchat, she starts recording, and the music cuts off and you can still hear the recording of her Snapchat. So the artist that I'm working with is like, yo, like, delete that, like, you feel me, like, that's unreleased, like, you can't do that. She's like, I don't give a fuck, Winter, why would you let him fucking play that? You know what that motherfucker did to my sister? How could you do that? Da da da. And I was like, you need to calm down. This is like a business thing for me. Like, you need to relax. Literally talking like this, because I know if I argued or said anything like, bitch, you are doing too fucking much, she will escalate the situation to like unreasonable amounts. I'm like, yo, you need to calm down. Like, this is not the place nor the time. The artist that I'm working with is like, do you know him or something? She's like, yeah, that motherfucker played the fuck out of my twin sister, and I don't give a fuck. That's my sister, and I'm trying to have her fucking back. I don't care. Don't ever play that shit around me. She gets up, she storms out. I'm like, oh my God, I'm fucking humiliated. So I'm like, yo, like, I need to check on my friend. Like, she just stormed out. She's drunk. Like, I'm hella sorry. Like, she's not normally like this. She is normally like this. I was just fucking humiliated. I never thought that she would fucking pull no shit like this in a situation that I was in. I get up, I go outside, she's standing on the corner. I'm like, hey girl, like, get in the car, like, you're doing too much. Keep in mind, I'm furious at her, but I'm trying to de-escalate the situation because of how dramatic this girl is. She makes everything about her. She turns everything into a victim. I'm like, just get in the car. She's like, no, no. I'm like, get the fuck in the car. I'm not about to let you Uber home. Like, get the fuck in the car. She gets in the car. She's still trying to go off. I'm like, look, I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm gonna talk to you about this shit tomorrow because I'm fucking furious and I don't want to argue with you. This is how I used to have to talk to her when she did dumbass shit, because I could not even be rude to the bitch because she's so fucking loopy. If I was rude to this girl, she literally will turn everything. If we even have a slight conversation with the tone of disagreement, she will take it on one. And I was like, I know this ain't nobody I want to fall out with, because she's gonna go on the internet, she's gonna blow shit out of proportion, and she's going to lie, like exactly what she's doing now. Whatever. This is from the day after the studio situation. Danny texts me, good morning, I'm sorry I embarrassed you last night. I could have handled things better. Of course, I'll be the first to acknowledge when my behavior isn't up to par. This is the first time she ever acknowledged anything, and I was actually kind of proud of her. Isn't up to par, but I do put my family above anyone else, and how I act, speak or act sometimes won't always be what you would do. So I apologize for getting you upset, but I am who I am. Of course, if I was sober and not heartbroken and backstabbed by Randy, who she was in that video with, I'm sure everything would have played out different, but that wasn't the case, and I can't change it now. I care about you genuinely, and of course, I want to be a cheerleader for you, especially in your musical journey, but I'm probably not the best personality to bring to studios. I said, I appreciate the apology, and because I'm your friend, I'm going to be honest. I understand that you were drunk, and I understand that you were going through a lot yesterday with Randy and the TMZ thing, which is why I didn't get upset, but right now, I can only accept this as a half apology because you're still trying to justify your actions when they really aren't justifiable. Besides, I was drunk. You have listened to Russ's song Greatest on Earth around me now multiple times without having a fit about it, so the fact you chose to be overly sensitive about literally somebody's voice during a business opportunity for me is just completely unacceptable. You're also making excuses. That's just who I am. I'm not going to hold my tongue. You are years older than me, and you are acting like a little girl. I'm not trying to be harsh, but I need to be honest with you. I've noticed a lot of things that you do that you justify to make yourself feel better rather than just working on them and not doing them at all. I myself am not perfect, and I used to do a lot of shit that burned bridges with people, got me into fights, made me look bad. And as your friend, I'm telling you that you have some work to do within yourself. I completely support you and want to be your friend, but you're self-sabotaging yourself and ultimately were a liability for me last night, which I can't deal with ever again. I'm not trying to be mean. I just think you can be a better you, and I want to see you win. That was the tone in which I would speak to Danny, even if we had a disagreement, because I knew that if I came at her anyway, she would turn it all around. Whatever. She is over here. Understandable. Trust me, I know I have things to work on. My own family says I'm a blocker to my own blessings. It'll be a journey I'll continue to be on during 2020, but it won't happen overnight. You are right. There's a time and place for everything, and I overreacted, and I'm sorry. I was a liability for you. I never want to be that for anyone I care about. I just spoke to Gabby, and she too believed I overreacted, and she doesn't care about Russ nor if his song will be playing in the studio with you. So maybe I have some internal issues that make me angry, and I use whatever excuse I can to let it out like a bulldozer. I know I have issues, but all I can say is I acknowledge what I did to you. I'm sorry, and I'll do my best working on being a better me. I don't want to burn any more bridges. My goal is to work on the parts I run from heading into 2020 so I can be the best version of me Rome wasn't built in a day. I said, okay, and I'm here for you, and it's understand. We all make mistakes when we're drunk. Trust me, I've done a lot while drinking, so I'm not one to judge. Whatever. Okay, so you see the tone of this conversation. I've been extremely supportive in this girl with this girl. Every time she spazzes out, I've always been this way. I've always been supportive. I have never been rude to her. I've never come at her in a foul way. I've always been like, look, I think you got some shit to work on, and I'm here for you while you want to work on it if you do. Situation with Catch. As you guys all know, she made a whole fucking big deal out of not being able to get into the restaurant Catch. My homegirl Asia texted me that